Coronavirus cases continue to surge in the United States. In fact, yesterday on June 25th, we broke records yet again. The death toll also continues to climb, and Donald Trump has decided that now's a great time to minimize this pandemic as nothing more than an artificial issue. Mind you that 125,000 Americans have already died from the pandemic, and again, we're starting to see record numbers of new cases. And we're not flattening the curve. So with that said, let's take a look at what Trump had to say.
So we've done a lot and we're very proud of it. And we had the best, until this artificial problem, because I call it an artificial problem. We had to turn off our country to save millions of lives, and now we've turned it back on, and it's coming back much faster than anybody thought possible.
So Cenk, yesterday alone, we found out that there were 40,000 new cases of coronavirus. That's the most new cases recorded in a single day. And 125,000 Americans are dead because of this pandemic and because of Donald Trump's inaction, incompetence, lack of leadership. It's just devastating. And he has not only just completely given up on the virus, he constantly on a daily basis spreads misinformation about it, discourages people from wearing masks, and gives people this false sense of confidence about going out there and mingling, with other people who could be spreading this virus.
Yeah, he's a clown extraordinaire, and I think the jury's coming in on him right here before the election comes up. The American people are turning on him in, as he would say, bigly. The polling is clear. Now he's losing in Georgia, in Texas, in Arizona, in Florida. He's getting killed everywhere. Why? Because people can. Like, you guys got to remember, there's a certain core of people that follow the news and politics a lot. And then there's some who followed a little, and then there's some who never followed at all. So as much as we are neck deep in what a clown Donald Trump is, I know it seems shocking, but a lot of people are seeing these comments for the first time. And he's overwhelming the media with so much circus that you can't avoid it. It's a three-ring circus. So look at that comment. I call it artificial. Yeah, but imagine FDR being like, well, everything was going great until Pearl Harbor, and I call that artificial. So then World War II started, and there was nothing I could do about it. No, that's why you're the president, because emergencies happen all the time. If FDR said, oh, the Great Depression happened and World War II happened, and that's why I didn't do anything. No, that's why you're supposed to do something. You're supposed to be in charge and lead us out of it instead of going, I call it artificial, and everything was going great. Well, your job isn't just to sit there like a lump on a log. Your job is to actually fix things when emergencies come up because you are the leader. Of course, he couldn't lead his way out of a wet paper bag, 6 bankruptcies, and the only person he cares about is Donald J. Trump. That's why he doesn't care about your lives, and that's why when you have an emergency like this, he goes.
There is a tiny bit of good news because of the fact that healthcare providers, doctors, nurses are a little more experienced in dealing with coronavirus cases, and the majority of new cases are among young people who are less likely to die from coronavirus. So even though we're seeing record numbers of new coronavirus cases, when you look at the number of deaths per day, they have dropped dramatically compared to what we experienced in mid-April. So deaths from the coronavirus in the United States are down to, by the way, this is still devastating, but about 600 deaths per day compared to 2,200 deaths in mid-April. So that is some evidence to indicate that it is younger people who are contracting this virus and spreading this virus because they're out and about, they're not staying home. And this is also kind of left out of the conversation. Many of them can't stay home because so many of these states have prematurely opened businesses back up. And if you're a young person who relies on that job, you have no choice but to go to work. And if you say, no, I don't feel comfortable going to work, I'm worried about this virus, I'm not gonna do it, you are not going to qualify for unemployment insurance or any type of financial relief. So that's part of the equation that needs to be discussed as well. Also, while it is the official record that about 2.5 million Americans have contracted the virus. The truth is, healthcare providers are saying, or healthcare experts, I should say, are saying that about 20 million Americans are infected with the virus. It's just that many people don't know, and many people can be asymptomatic while they go out there and continue to spread it. By the way, when it comes to prematurely opening businesses back up, the majority of Americans have been on the side of reason. A new ABC Ipsos poll showed that 56% of Americans believe that the country is opening back up too quickly with no vaccine and no cure available for COVID-19.
Okay, so I'm going to make a little bit of a morbid prediction here, and as almost always, I hope I'm wrong. So Trump did something similar, but he went in the opposite direction. He said when this came up, soon we'll have no cases. Then they bragged, oh, well, if we only have 60,000 deaths, it's gonna be great. We have 80,000 deaths, great, 100, 120, now it's at 125, they've blown past all of it. But I'm telling you right now, the fact that there's only 600 deaths per day in America from coronavirus is not gonna hold. So yes, it is infecting younger people, as Anna pointed out. Older people die at greater rates. That's why even though we have record cases today, we don't have record deaths. But it's gonna catch up because those folks, unfortunately, are going to spread it to older people. And remember, if you get it today, you don't die today. There's a process and it takes some period of time. You go to the hospital and probably die about a couple of weeks later. This is super morbid and I hope none of this happens. But likely it'll take a little time, but they will infect some percentage of older people. They'll go to the hospital. So in about 2 to 4 weeks, my guess is we're gonna start having record number of deaths. So already the number of deaths is terribly high. And I hate saying it because my parents are older and every once in a while they ask me for an update. And I almost don't want to give it to them, but they can't leave their house because it's incredibly dangerous out there. And so in the beginning, guys, you say, hey, in March, are you sure you would have had the testing? New Zealand did, Germany and South Korea did, but maybe that's a tough standard, right? But we're now at near the end of June, and we still don't have contact tracing. This is gross negligence, and his excuse is, I find it artificial. So, I mean, can you imagine if Abe Lincoln said 7 years ago something artificial happened, and God, there's nothing I can do about it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.